Now for what's trending in true crime. In the midst of Sade Robinson's death investigation, we've learned that the man charged with her death sold his house. Maxwell Anderson lived in this house when he was arrested for Sade's murder. He's also accused of dismembering her and allegedly leaving her body parts all over Milwaukee. Joining us now from Scripps News Milwaukee, Jenna Ray, who has been following every angle of the Sade Robinson case, is here. Jenna, thanks so much for joining us. But the big news today and yesterday is when it broke in the afternoon, evening hours, is that another body part has been located and the family of Sade Robinson was contacted about it.
That's exactly right, Julia. Now, this is the first time in several weeks that we've actually gotten a notice of another body part found, and this time it's outside of the Milwaukee viewing area. It's actually in Illinois. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office confirmed for us yesterday that they found an arm near Waukegan, Illinois, which is about 60 miles south of Milwaukee. Again, it's been several weeks since law enforcement has talked publicly about their efforts and findings, specifically in the case of Sade Robinson, and this is the first time that we're hearing from them. We've also been in contact with Sade Robinson's family, who says they've been notified by law enforcement and were the first to be notified yesterday after that arm was found. They do tell family that they believe it is Sade's. However, they need to send it to a lab to be DNA tested to be 100% sure. Now, this comes exactly on the day that the suspect charged in this case, Maxwell Anderson, was in court. I was in court Thursday afternoon for Anderson's scheduling conference, and we were hoping that a jury trial date would be put on the books, but instead the defense asked for another 60 days to continue reviewing the piles and boxes they say the state gave them full of evidence. So the next court appearance for Anderson is coming up next month. Julia.
Good to know, Jenna, and that there are piles and piles of boxes of evidence. What do they have? And I'm sure the public is eager to know what evidence they have against Maxwell Anderson, in addition to what we know from the probable cause affidavit. Now, the sale of the house, what can you tell us about the circumstances and who may be purchasing this house? Did they know that they were purchasing a house that's at the center of a homicide investigation?
Julia, I think it's a question that we've all been dealing with and we've all been asking. I know it's a question that family and friends of Sade Robinson have also been asking, and it's a question that unfortunately we're not getting answers to right now. We did receive information about Anderson's family selling this house, and again, like you mentioned, it's the same house where Sade's phone was actually tracked in the original criminal complaint. Now, we know that her phone was tracked all over different parts of Milwaukee. Anderson's house being one of them. Her phone was tracked there for several hours. And again, there's been several questions surrounding the selling of Anderson's house, but sheriff's deputies here in Milwaukee tell us that they believe they've gathered all of the evidence they needed out of his house, but if they need to come back into the house with another owner in it, they are able to do so. Again, I talked with friends of the family yesterday who were in court. They did seem concerned about the selling of the house, but again, law enforcement is insisting and telling us that they did get everything that they needed, and if so, they can get back into the house. Now, as of today, family tells us that they'll be at North Beach in Racine this morning to keep searching, and then they're going to work their way down into Illinois to Waukegan, where that body part was found late yesterday afternoon.
What a difficult day this must be for her family. Jenna Ray, thank you so much for that report. Scripps News Milwaukee will let you go now, and we'll bring in our panel, because the question we've been asking, we thought many people would be asking about, would a person buy a murder house? Did they know that it was a murder house? But here with me to discuss, retired DEA Supervisory Special Agent Michael Wilhite Sr. and former public defender Michael Riley is with us as well. And Matthew Mangino, former district attorney, is still with us as well. Michael Wilhite, I'm going to start with you. That house is for sale. We know that that's been an issue in other cases too. We had the dad, Chris Watts' house was for sale. Alec Murdaugh's property was scooped up for a deep discount. What do you think attracts people to a house? Not saying that the people who bought this house did it for that reason, but when they're high-profile cases, what may be a motivation to even want a house that's involved in an investigation like this?
Julia, thank you for having me. Price. That could be it. the the value of the house probably, or the asking price for the house could probably be more reasonable. Also, maybe just the profile of the house being involved in something, unfortunately terrible, like a homicide or murder. It just that can do it too. That can be a case too. Um, I wouldn't buy one though, but
And can I ask you a follow-up as to whether or not you think it's able or easy for police to be able to get in there and do what they need to do when there's a different owner who doesn't necessarily know about this investigation?
See, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. I mean, that's going to take at a minimum. Say they can get consent if they think they need to go back in there. They can get consent from the current owner, or they may have to get a warrant. But again, other individuals and as you stated, I guess your footage stated, the investigators said that they've gotten everything they needed, but you don't know how. From my experience dealing with various drug trafficking, with gangs nexus and murder nexus cases, gun nexus cases, with drug trafficking, you'd have no clue what's going to come up around that corner in that investigation. Okay, I don't think it's a good idea. I would not be so remote to have that house sold.
Yeah, let me ask Michael Riley what he thinks. Michael, I've seen some attorneys purchase their clients' homes in exchange for services, but your thoughts on whether you buy one or whether this can impact the investigation going forward?
Thanks, Julia. Well, I think I'd buy anything that's affordable in this current market. And that can be a thing. The price could be greatly reduced, and that could be attractive for some buyers. In terms of the impact on the investigation, I don't foresee any problems. First of all, you have new owners who are not the target of any investigation. They might be more willing to cooperate with law enforcement in terms of letting them back into the house to the extent that they need to get back into the house. And if there isn't cooperation, I think law enforcement could easily get a warrant to get back into the house, conduct any follow-up investigation they need to. So I don't anticipate there being much of a problem there.
Well, that's good to know. Good to know. Now, we know that Sade Robinson, she vanished after going on a first date with Anderson. And her father spoke to Nancy Grace on her show, Crime Online, and said that he's desperate to find the rest of his daughter.
There's only 2 body parts left that we haven't found. And I just want to put her to rest properly. I keep having dreams about it. So I just want her to at least rest in peace. And I can't do that until I have her together.
It is so hard to think about what this must be like for this family. It's unimaginable. Of course, if this arm that was just found in Illinois does belong to Sade, they send it off for DNA testing. That means only her head would be something that has not been found yet. It's heartbreaking to think of that. But we are going to bring back in our guest, Matthew Mangino. I want to ask you about this finding. It's almost unimaginable that they are finding body parts 60 miles away from where the crime scene was. Your reaction to this news that they are still looking for this morning and finding body parts as of yesterday?
Yeah, Julie, it's incredibly sad to listen to Sade's father and what they must be going through. And it's also, really strange that this arm, this other body part, is found 60 miles away, again, on the banks or on the beach. What did allegedly, Maxwell Anderson think he was doing here? He was trying to hide these body parts in various places and in waterways to disguise the death or to prevent identification of the victim in this case. I mean, he went to, it appears, elaborate means to try to hide the body parts after he allegedly dismembered her body. So it really makes for a macabre, bizarre scenario with regard to trying to to pull all this together, and as her father said, just make her whole, so that she could be in peace.
Right. Michael Wilhite, real quick, if you'll just let us know if you, in your 30 years of experience in law enforcement, if you've seen a dismembering case like this one, and what are some of the factors that are involved when it comes to investigating a case like this?
I've done it first with drug trafficking. The traffickers, it has some of the people they retaliate against and dismembered bodies and stuff. Again, it's just putting. I don't see more of it, but putting the pieces together. Again, one of my colleagues said, "Why, for him to go out his way to try to hide his crime, suspected crime." It's just sad. But the investigators, this is cut out. The investigators have their job cut out for them.
They certainly do. We understand they've got those boxes and boxes of evidence that the defense team is having to go through. Michael Riley, your thoughts on no jury trial date at this point? He's on a $5 million bond, but what happens next in this case as we're following it closely?
I think the court's going to wait until the defense attorneys indicate that they've had enough time to go through all the discovery, that there's not any outstanding items that they're looking for. These cases tend to be very complicated. When there's a homicide investigation, law enforcement really goes deep and they gather a lot of information, a lot of evidence, and the defense attorney's going to have to go through all of that, make sure they have what they need to prepare this case for a trial. So it could go on for a little while longer.
Next hearing date in that case, July 12th. Thank you all for your comments and analysis. Michael Wilhite, Michael Riley are going to be back in the next hour.